Good evening, everyone. Please forgive me for being 15 minutes late for the Queen's recap. Oh, as often stated on this show, Queens, true queens, it takes a lot for us to get ready to meet the demands that's in front of us. So I do apologize. I wanted to be this recap to reflect everything about last week's show, which was awesome. Special thanks to Lee Hill for being the host of the show. And her topic was so amazing. I learned so much from the episode. So, if you don't know me, my name is Pierce or Peach. I am the executive director and founder of IME Inc. I am the executive director and founder of House of Peach. It's obvious, right? Because my name is Peach. And tonight I'm going to do the recap for the bravest thing I have ever done that made a change was Brilliant Topic by Lee Hill. If you missed it, please go on to Hop. You can find us on Facebook, or you can go to YouTube at Hop Empowering Women, or you can watch it on the IME pages because this is a House of Peach and Hop collaboration. The panelists is an amazing group of ladies. They are from diverse backgrounds, orientations, um, races. So it's just amazing. And I'm honored to be here tonight. So, again, recapping the topic, the bravest thing I have ever done that made a change was it was so much information inside this one episode that was so beneficial that I had to rewatch the show and clip down the pieces that I found profound for myself and I thought that you guys can learn from and enjoy. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And the first question that Lee had, well, not even the first, it was one that stood out to me the most. Where should change occur? And all the ladies had different scenarios. One lady said it could happen in the backyard during a cookout, it can happen at a seminar, it could happen in political spaces. Change, that word of change could happen in most spaces, and for me, I'm like, everywhere. Change is everywhere. You can drop a word any and everywhere you go, right? Whenever there's a opportunity and you feel that there is a need for change, or for you to just drop one jewel onto a woman, and it may even just change her life. Not even just a woman, it can be man, a non-binary person, it can be anyone that could benefit, right? If you got the proper word, the proper tools that can help. So, what I'm going to do, because I love to show you pieces of what you missed if you didn't watch it, and clips if you did watch it, just as a reminder. I'm going to play Michelle clip because I thought that was awesome what she said about change and the proper space to actually do it, where you can offer the best advice. So here is Michelle.
Important that you call out bigotry, racism, homophobia, all those things. It's important that you call it out, but you also, in a community space, have to be prepared to call in. And I often use an example. It's like after one of the times the current administration was elected the first time, I went to a women's group, and there was a lady who came who sat quietly, and they were just, oh, and we hate him and we're going to fight back, and I'm down with it. And they talked about everything that he stood for. And at a certain point, this woman like sort of raised her hand. She said, well, I have to admit, I voted for the orange one. And if they immediately jumped on her. But I saw an opportunity. Sometimes it's an opportunity to call in, because first of all, why did she come to this meeting if she didn't know something was wrong. And I asked her, why did you? I said, I'm not going to debate you about his one, but can we talk about things that matter? What happened to our kids? What happens about bullying? Beyond her one issue was abortion. Can we talk about beyond it? And do you care about that? And then to call her, give her an opportunity to call her into a broader conversation. And because I know that there are people that she could go and talk to, like, and say, I made a huge mistake. This is what we could do, that I could never go. So I agree with Ariel. We have to call out what's wrong, unapologetically. We always must, but also look at opportunities to call in people who can be allies who really need an education.
Hey, Toya, you joining in? Did you get a chance to hear Lee?
No, I came in at the very last moment. Hello,
Okay.
everyone.
So, what Lee basically, the clip I just showed, what she was talking about is change and where it should occur. Is it ever a perfect space to actually have a conversation for change? Or, for me, I think you can promote change any and everywhere. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's situational if it's a comfortable time. And
Mm-hmm.
so Lee just shared the experience of her being out, I guess, at a Trump rally or something
Mm-hmm.
involving Trump,
Right.
anti-Trump rally, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say. And a Trumpster actually came into that space. And Lee, I mean, sorry, not Lee, Michelle said it was a great opportunity for growth and understanding and to figure out why she voted the way she voted. And
Right.
then to kind of educate her on the issues because I guess she was white in
Right.
that space and she was hoping, maybe through my conversation it'll prompt her to change and take it back into her spaces so that they can
Mm-hmm.
change their heart to vote for another candidate the next time.
Right.
So do you think change should only happen in our spaces? You can introduce yourself too. Tell them who you
Mm-hmm.
are so they'll know who you are, the audience.
All right. Hey, y'all. So I am Latoya Baker. I am one of the founders of I Am Me Inc. So
Okay.
how
So
y'all
now that
doing?
everybody, yeah, they know who we are.
Mhm.
So
Oh, you
we
mean
are in
as a
spaces to change.
yes.
Should we just only do it in those spaces?
No. I feel like it could occur anywhere. Anytime that you see, not even just in the LGBT community, anytime you see anyone that is doing something and you feel that they're not doing the right thing and that you need to interject and let them know that maybe this is not what you should be doing. Maybe you should be trying something just to change their mind,
Right.
their mind frame, of how they're thinking. Because some people don't be thinking the right way. You know what I mean?
Oops, sorry. Trying to share it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So sometimes people think they be knowing everything, but you don't be knowing everything. So and when it comes to us, we want to change people for the better and just educate them for better to not be thinking all negative the way they be thinking about the community. Because sometimes the ignorance, they're really ignorant. We done spoke of this many times, the ignorance of a lot of people, heterosexual people, or sometimes even people in the community. I realize they don't know as much as they think they know about their own community and the things that are going on. So I think that it's always a space to, I say, educate somebody to change their mind frame. So I think it's never a moment where you shouldn't do it. If you see if you feel you have to jump in and do that, jump in and do that. As long as you're not hurting anyone. But
Okay. I agree with that. I gotta admit, when it comes to jumping in for change, I, I sometimes over jump like with the
mhm,
commission. I'll
right,
over jump, but my heart
mhm,
is, in the right place.
right,
Um, just to call attention, bring awareness, to say, hey, wake up, look what they're doing, pay attention, let's do something. this matters. So okay, I guess we both agree with
Mhm.
Michelle that everywhere, anywhere is just a perfect space for change.
But you have
Now,
to be careful on how you address people as well. Because some people, they say tough love, and it might come off wrong and you think you're helping somebody, but you're really not. But
I
you
can
good.
agree with it too. Now, Kanisha from the show, she's an
Hmm.
ally.
Yeah.
Her whole thing on the entire broadcast was about love,
Okay.
self-love, approaching people with love. So I'm kind of
Mhm.
guessing you got that Kanisha vibe. We got to go in with love, no matter what we do it in a loving manner.
I
Love
feel like
yourself
it's important. I
in a loving
feel like it's
manner.
really important to to represent and promote from a loving standard. Like for me, I feel like, especially if you want somebody to have a positive mindset, you have to come in it with love. And some people don't know what that is, though. And they don't know how to react when someone is bringing this to them as well, trying to bring this up. They don't know how to react. They think maybe you're trying to come at them, or maybe you don't have their best interest at heart. So it's a little touchy
Tricky with the
subject right
love
here.
thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, another question Lee asks on the show is, have you received pushback for facilitating change? And I'm glad you joined me on this show because,
Mm-hmm.
again, with us being in the nonprofit sector, we receive a lot of pushback. I know personally, I receive a lot of pushback. Like
Mm-hmm.
recently, I've lost my whole Facebook page with all my
Mm-hmm.
contacts because
Mm-hmm.
of the pushback, because I refuse to allow any homophobe or anyone with hate to stop us from doing what we came to do, which is educate about the community when it comes to IME and when it comes to HOP, bringing in more allies and supporting women. So I lost my whole page.
Mm-hmm.
Have you received any pushback for facilitating change?
Um, I feel like with the organization, when you are receiving that pushback, it affects us as well because it's our organization. So we experience the pushback all the time. People want to silence us. That's what they want to do. So, but it's hard to silence I and me. I'm sorry. Like we're still gonna come out and swing it, and you go be like, "What the hell? Where they came from? We thought we done stopped them. You can't stop us because what we doing is coming from our hearts, and we do it. I don't want to keep some of this love thing out there, but we really think about the community and how we can help and assist, and we know going into that we're gonna receive pushback. We know this already. So we know that those are some hurdles that we got to go over. So um I invite the pushback. How about that? Because it's going to let you know that you're not stopping anything. You could try, but no. But we definitely receive a lot of that from people, especially individuals who you feel are there for you, but they really are not. It's just crazy.
Now, when I heard Lee ask, it made me question because I'm like a very analytical person.
Mm.
Why would anyone want to push against positive change? Like, what would what would be the reason for something like that? Any type of change, not just I and me, just on any level. Why would anyone have pushback for it? What is the reason?
I feel like
I,
someone always wants to be the bad guy. I don't know. It's like, oh, they're doing it this way, so we're just gonna try to stop them. It'd be like, why you just can't come aboard and assist and do your service, your positive service? They don't want to do that. I don't know why, P. The actual reason, I do not know. It's ridiculous though, but
well, I'm gonna tell you what Kanisha said, and then I'm gonna play the clip.
yes, tell me what Kanisha
Kanisha,
said.
Kanisha had a valid point, and I never really looked at it that way. I'm like, what? Well,
Okay.
she said sometimes, you may not be the proper representative for change for people. They may not think
Mm-hmm.
you are qualified
Right.
to facilitate the change. They may not
Mm-hmm.
think, based off your station in life or your lack of credentials. That's what Kanisha said. I'm just going to play her clip and you tell me what you think. Because when she said that, I said, oh,
Yeah.
okay. So now you got to be, I don't know. I got to look a certain way. I got to
Mm-hmm.
talk a certain way. I gotta have a
Of course.
doctorate. I got oh come on now. Let me play Kanisha
Who?
clip.
You
Let me
go
put
ahead.
Kanisha up here.
People from experience, my natural and holistic lifestyle is looked at with according also with diet. So according to society, I'm not good enough. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not a doctor. So when they a lot of people, and I have nothing against it for other
Mm-hmm.
people, if that's what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do. But my lifestyle works better with holistic treatment. That's how I feel better. That's how I thrive. That's where I realized my mental health came more into play, and I was able to go off my own thoughts versus suppressed thoughts from medication. I have my own thoughts and opinions about how they are used in my body, and the things that I feel, and I have proof, but I'm just never good enough for society because I don't have the science behind it or the degree or things of that nature. So the truth about natural and holistic treatment is just crazy to me because I'm always given that pushback like I need credentials. And the thing is, I help so many people and I know they can vouch for me. So many people can vouch for me knowing that I've helped them with like major health issues. And it's ridiculous the thoughts and the things that are said to me like I'm just not good enough. The truth about natural and holistic treatment is it's crazy. But that's one of the things that I deal with and battle with, like really it's really heavy. I just make it a point to just always speak my mind and make sure that I am my own proof. So my doctors can tell you like the truth, like even looking at blood work and everything that I did on my own. So it is true. It may not work for everybody. It may not be everybody's thing, but the truth for me is natural and holistic treatment. So that's kind of something that I deal with.
Well, I pretty much agree with her because if I'm learning to play the piano, I'm not gonna want to hear from the trumpet player, like, because what they got to tell me is not what I'm trying to hear. You know what I'm saying? They're
Right.
not doing what I'm doing. You want to listen to someone that has that experience or from what you're looking for.
Right. Now, but does that necessarily mean they have to have a doctorate or some
Mm.
type of college degree? To me, I believe in life experience.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I'm like life. That's what I was
Yes.
here like life. Like you don't have to have a doctorate degree and all of this. I've lived life. Some people like
And
that's
what's
a lot of
amazing,
experience.
yeah, and what's amazing is you'll have people like what Kanisha says. She really got hot and heavy into holistic
Holistic.
care for herself because of her condition, her
Mm-hmm.
fibromyalgia, in which I respect her because I don't believe in taking a whole bunch of medications because
Pills,
as a
right?
nurse I know the adverse effects of them, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how could you believe that even when it comes to like what we do, you have to have a therapist in the space in order for people to get what they need. You need to have this person with this kind of degree to get to what you need. But what's ironic to me is in order for those people to become who they are, it was some probably somebody in their life without a degree that encouraged them, that was their personal counselor,
Right.
was everything that they needed to become that. And so
Mm-hmm.
once you get obtain those things, you downplay the life experience. You downplay the advice from Big Mama. You downplay um, everything from the elders that you learn if you're a church goer. The elders, your church family, the elders in the church. None of that matters because they may not have a paper. But
And
these people been taking care of us
right.
forever.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like therapy doesn't help people. It does, but it's kind of scripted. You know what I'm saying? It's I like I've done therapy, y'all, so don't get me wrong, but it's kind of scripted because I know what they're gonna say. And a lot of times you know what they're gonna say and you know what the issue is. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, Pete, our ancestors that spoke to us about these things. They weren't therapists. They didn't have these degrees and all of that. They didn't have that. But they lived the life and they know what is what. And
Right.
sometimes people don't like to listen. It's like with children, you want to tell them something, but they ain't gonna always listen to us as older people because we done lived it. They gotta go through it themselves and learn. So,
Right.
but
But yeah, I thought Kanisha, I love how she worded it. I love
yes.
how she said everything. And what's
Mm-hmm.
funny about all of this, people judge her for her lack of credentials and possibly her station in life, but she's a politician now.
Right.
So there is something magical about her where she
Right.
didn't need all, not to knock anyone who decides to
Mm-hmm.
pursue. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Right.
But just don't knock the people that have the life experience and know all the nuances that you may not get in that educational space. No
Right.
one can tell you how to be a single mother more than, like a single mother. Can nobody tell you the
Mhm.
LGBT experience like an LGBT person?
Right.
And, just a black woman experience, just all of those things is just always those little pieces that education doesn't pick up.
Right.
So
That's true.
kudos to Kanisha. I love that. It stuck out to me. I was like, hey, yes, Kanisha, this is the
Mm-hmm.
reason why people don't want to follow you, because you don't look like the representative that they want.
That they want. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Which, but that's that, what, now I think about, brings me back to thinking that's why people follow celebrities, because they have the look that you want, but they don't have all the other things that you
Right.
need. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
All right, so let's go through this. Thank you, Kanisha. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Yes.
So Lee was talking about change and how hard it is to actually go through the process to unlearn behaviors that you've had for so many years. Um, and she said sometimes we need like a co-pilot to help us through. Um, and so she asks, how do women care for one another through all of this? How do you care for your sister when you're going through change? And you probably would have a better idea than I would.
Oh man. How do you care for your sister when you're going through change? That's a great question because
When they're going through change,
when they're going through
how do
change,
you be a co-pilot for them? How do you
you could
care for
just
one
you could
another
just
through all of it?
honestly, you could just keep communication and let them know that you're there for them. You know, some people just leave you alone and don't contact you, and then you over here thinking to yourself, am I important to this person? They know I'm going through something, but they don't even reach out. You have to reach out and just make sure they're okay. That's what I believe. You got
Okay.
to be there for them. Go to their home, spend some time with them, see what they need. If they need something like, for instance, therapy, help them find a therapist. They need to go to a class, help them find a class. Get them motivated. Because 9 times out of 10, they're in a funk. You want to get them out of that. You got to
Right.
help them out. Mm-hmm.
Well, I do this thing where I do, if I care about you, I do these check-ins on you. I like to
Mm-hmm.
do, like, my best friend Kima. I do a everyday mental check-in. I'm picking
Yeah.
up the phone like, hey, how you doing? What's going on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get the vibe. Even you, if I see you fall off, I'll pick up the phone and do a check-in. Hey, what's going on? Da-da-da, I ain't see you, whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm a
Mm-hmm.
firm believer in that, doing some check-ins, giving that advice if you can.
Right.
I think true love and friendships, how women care for each other, is just showing up for each other.
Yes.
being there in your
Mm-hmm.
capacity, because not all of us
Mm-hmm.
have the same capacity. Not
Right.
all of us can financially help, but if we had it, we would. It
Right.
doesn't make
Right.
us a lesser person if you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But the emotional thing, like you just said, just stopping by, hello, how are you?
Right.
The call-ins, if they have a business, for me, which I love being around entrepreneurs. You see a
Mm-hmm.
lady entrepreneur, step in and support. Come
Yeah.
come out to it.
Yeah.
Even if it's two people and you're the third or the second or maybe even the first, come out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even take money out my pocket. Maybe I can't buy the biggest thing if you're selling, I'll buy the smallest. I'll buy what I can afford.
Right.
Just show up, show people that they are
Mm-hmm.
important and what they're into is important. So, but
Yes.
I'm going to read to you what the lady said. Again, Kanisha, she just she makes me laugh with this. Kanisha made a statement, and she said you got to love the person for who they are. That's how you show up for them.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Don't
them
try to
for who they
change them.
are. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And come with the frequency of love. Just
Right.
shower them with love. Michelle said, you got to see yourself in the other woman so you can know how to help them. And then once you see
Mm-hmm.
it, you be a sister to that person.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't have any sisters. I don't know what that
Mm-hmm.
looks like, but I try my version of it. I don't
Yeah.
have sisters. I have all brothers. But
I'm sure it could be hard to relate to something that you don't know about, but
yeah,
try to understand. At least have an
right.
open ear and understand.
And then Ariel said, just straighten that queen's crown out. Well, however it's crooked, just shift it.
Good.
Shift.
Good.
Yeah, just take it
That's
and
right.
shift it around.
You be all right, boo.
Yeah, I these ladies, but I'm gonna play a clip from Ariel. Ariel, if you ever watched the show, she
Mm-hmm.
say so much profound. I'm gonna curse so much profound shit that it's hard to. You don't want to make a whole show
Mm-hmm.
about Ariel, but this show she just said so much profound stuff. It's like, okay, we can't make this whole show about Ariel. So I just took one piece that I thought people could benefit from. Now, all the ladies always have amazing things to say, but Ariel was just this show about change. She was just, I think Ariel's the change master.
Okay,
But
now with
let
them.
me, yeah, let me play this clip from Ariel.
Like, so we're going to assume success is achievable, but what's in your way? And then really kind of like talk through how are we, okay, so great. So now we know what all of the things are that are going to stop us. Let's talk around how we can plan for overcoming them, because I think that's it, right? Like, we assume that success is possible. We look at things as barriers, not like stops, right? Like, so like, yeah, money is a barrier, your family, whatever it is that is like could put a pause. And then let's look at also what is our plan, like what is the whole goal, right? So maybe one of the barriers is we don't have time to do it at this scale, or we don't have the money to do it like how we are envisioning it. Could we do it a little smaller? Because we have to start somewhere, right?
Right.
So that's really how I would, like, when people say I'm powerless, and then that would be for, I mean, and literally for anything. Like, you can't figure out how to leave your husband. Okay, what are your barriers to leaving your husband? Okay, so he is all in your pockets. Great. So what could we do to get you some money on the side? Or to be able to create a savings? Is there something that we could do to just get him out of the situation that doesn't require you to do anything different? So for all of the things, for having children, well, that one's a little toughy. But for managing families, I think it's really just like, let's calmly look at what are we trying to achieve, right? Why are we trying to achieve it? So really, like, so we can kind of focus on how we stay present for ourselves and how we keep ourselves accountable to achieving our goals. And then how can we overcome barriers? Because they are overcomable. Like, it might be that, like you said, like, you need a new circle. You need somebody who's going to be a cheerleader, people who are actually going to support you. And that might be hard, but I think that that's really kind of how we get successful. And I'm not saying that as somebody who is like always successful in every single thing I do, because I'm not. I'm a whole human person. But um I do,
Yeah.
I like, and I guess that's also the accountability piece, right? Like I'm able to look and say, here's where I dropped the ball, or where the plate fell, or where I wasn't up to managing all of these things. I didn't expect all of that to come at me all like right now. Um, but here's what I'm going to do to get back up again, right? And I think that's really the only difference between people who are successful and people who are not, is you get back up more than you fall down.
She said, "What are you trying to achieve and how are you going to achieve it?" Okay,
I know
that
that's
part.
right. And
That
it
part.
seems like I told you she say a lot of things like in that small clip she answered all the questions that we already discussed in that
Right.
small space. That's why I clipped it. I'm like this could just be the whole end all be all to the show. I just asked about how do you
Mm-hmm.
change. She told you how to change. She told you you got to basically assess yourself, figure out what the reason is, and then combat that reason, and then move on. Um, she told you how to be there for another queen. You show up for that person, and then you do
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. Y'all talk, you find out what the issue is, where they're trying to go, you assess it, you break it down, then y'all conquer that. And
Mm-hmm.
then you become accountable for what it is you're trying to do. It was just so much in that that one
That right.
clip.
Mm-hmm.
But
She
I
said a
thought,
lot.
yeah, women really needed to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really need to hear that. And the most important piece that I think both of us could appreciate is the part when she said, in order to be successful, you're going to get knocked down, but the
Mm-hmm.
successful people get right
Get
back
back
up
up.
again.
Yes.
And
Yep.
yeah, and I'm sure people probably even wonder it with I am me, how
Mm-hmm.
whatever they throw negative at us, we get right back
Right
up, and
back
we
up.
don't just get up, we get up and say, okay, well, you didn't like this level of us, let's
Right.
excel, let's go
Right.
to
Right.
another height of this. So
Mm-hmm.
I that was my opinion, Eric. What did you think about Eric? It was just so much in that clip.
It was a lot in that clip. But I really liked how she talked about like you just said, you basically you fall, you gotta get back up. If you aiming to go somewhere for your future, you want to do something, it's gonna be a lot of bumps in the road. It's gonna be a lot. You're not gonna just be walking. You have to crawl. Okay? Then you have to walk, then you gonna run, okay? It's gonna take some time. And it's okay. And she said sometimes you have to, if you can't go on the bigger scale, you go on the smaller scale. Everybody think they gotta start so big. You ain't gotta start so big. You go low. Then build yourself up.
That is true. Who knows better than us? Remember, we were just having this conversation
Yes.
about us starting in little bars, trying
Yes.
things, and
Yes.
um, then the pandemic came, and we just started streaming, and then
Right.
somehow or another we ended up with a
Yes.
nonprofit. It was like
Yes.
we was always doing something that
Yes.
led to
Mm-hmm.
this. Everybody just see this part.
Right. Everybody just see this part, but I'm sure people seen the parts too. When we was in before the pandemic, like you just mentioned, we was in the Philadelphia. We was in these clubs trying to mingle and just get to know people and let people get to know who we are. Then pandemic hit. We was streaming, trying to educate y'all. Trying to give this service that we know that we have to offer. We always thinking about our audience on how we can provide a service all the time.
That is true. That is true. So Lee asked another question, and
What
this
we
is
say?
this, yeah, Lee. This question, she said, "What seeds of change are you planting today?
Say that one more time. What seeds?
What seeds of change are you planting today, and how do you hope they will grow?"
Mm, that is a good question. So the seeds that Are you asking me this question? Okay, so the seeds I am planting is the seeds of positivity and having a clearer mind. I really am in the season right now of not letting people make me come out my character in a negative way. I don't want that. So that's why y'all may see I will post a video or whatever the case may be, trying to uplift everyone and try to make them know, hey, you made it today. It's a new day. You made it. Be happy, be thankful. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like everybody's gonna be happy. Everyone is not gonna be happy. But it maybe is a reason why you're not happy. So you need to go figure that out why you're not happy. Because I don't think everybody should be angry. I just don't. It takes up too much energy being angry.
Okay. Well, when I heard the question, when she said, "What seeds of change are you planting and how do you hope they grow?" I feel like everything that led up to the two nonprofits for me are the seeds that I'm planting.
Okay.
And the only expectation that I hope from these seeds is
Mhm.
that they, the people on the platform, their words, my words, your
Mhm.
words, the activities that we do inspire someone else to continue toward the change that we planted, the seed that we planted.
Mhm.
Pick up our mission. Maybe not in the
Yes.
same capacity, but pick it
Mhm.
up and keep it going once I'm long gone. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that we inspire people to become their very best selves, whatever it is. I don't care
Mhm.
what it is. I'm not judgmental. If you
Right.
want to be a prostitute and you heard what we said on here, be the very best
Yes, you can be.
at it. Master
Yes.
it.
That's true.
Be the very best you. And I
Yes.
guess I'm a ride the wave with Kanisha. I love you. I hope that, whatever we say here, whatever
Mhm.
you get from everything that goes on and all the things that I create, you learn to love yourself.
Yes.
Just become the very best you.
The very best you. And I'm gonna say this too, even though I just spoke about my seed and how I plant my seeds too so I could help others, the seeds that I plant is to help me as well, because I'm trying to be a better person. So when I do these things, I do them for me, but I also want to share it, just to help someone else. But you have to plant the seeds within yourself. You have to.
That is true. And I think Kanisha did say something like that. The first
Mm-hmm.
seed you have to plant is within yourself in order for you
Mm-hmm.
to plant seeds for others.
For
And
someone
I agree with
else.
both. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
agree with both of you. But one thing that the ladies didn't say that I like to say tonight, and I know you're gonna agree with me, right? And it's funny to me because when I was like, I'm always overthinking stuff. Sometimes the seed that you plant affects people and they may take it in a negative way, but it also turns out positive for them. For example, people that have come within the confines of us or tried to be a part of our organization, they may have left in a negative manner, but we planted a seed in them for change that they went out to start their own organizations. Even though they did it against us, we still planted a seed and you're out there continuing the work, even though that's not your intention.
But the thing is, all seeds are not going to become trees. Some
That's
seeds, some seeds may be weeds. Like all, it's not all going to be trees. Sometimes it's a hit and miss. Sometimes, so it's like you pray for the big trees. What kind of trees there? Who knows? But you want a big tree,
but
or a big tree, a
listen,
fucking I don't know. But
we
this,
still inspire them. No matter if
yes,
they
yes,
received
we
it
still plant.
negatively,
Right,
we
right.
still planted a seed in you. Even if you came to IME or HOP and you learned that this wasn't for you, but you still continue on that journey somewhere else, we planted that seed in you.
Yeah.
So
But
planting a seed can
that's
work
all we
either
could
way.
do. All we could do is plant that seed, but it's up to that other person to accept it or accept the information. We can't make them take on this information. If they could hear it, yeah, they I'm sure they heard it. But are you gonna let this sit in your mind and really do something with it? That's the question. And
That's yeah, that's true. Sometimes people don't do anything with it. But the people that do it in positivity and love because they enjoy us, they got the seed and they're doing something. And the people that came and left in negativity, the seed was planted in you, and we still impacted you to do the things that you're doing now.
it's
So
okay.
we did our part.
It's okay. It's
That's the
okay.
funny thing about the seeds. But that
Yeah.
was just my reverse thinking of it. I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, we still planted that. You're still a byproduct of the work that we have done. We
Right.
still made you a better person. We still taught you some things. You still got
Right. You
some
still
things.
left with something. Right.
Yes,
Mhm.
right.
Yes.
Yup. You know, and I still see our seeds going. Relationships have been
Yes.
formed.
Yes.
Um, it's just so much. So, ladies,
So you
never
got a
give
lot of
up.
good relationships. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Never give up planting that seed, because even if you don't, what you hope for or you wanted to see come from it, the growth could be something different, and it
Yes.
still could be positive, and it still could be great.
Yeah.
So, yep. I thought that was a interesting question. It just made me think, and I'm like, damn, I'm planting a seed. Ah, 100 years from now, when we all going, well, you might still be here, but 100 years from now, I ain't gonna be here or whatever. So,
But you know what,
so
real quick, Pete.
somebody might watch this.
So you know you feel that you plant a seed in somebody who is not really receptive, but you don't realize they really do still be listening. And then they
Yeah.
pass that on to someone else, not realizing they do it, but they end up passing it on. So it does get passed on for sure.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. And 100 years from now, all of this hard work that we done is going to be somebody that ventures off onto YouTube or any of the things, and they're going to watch and say, "Oh wow, I've
It's something
learned
out
from
there.
this."
Right. Right.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
some
be
help
the
out there.
ancestors then.
Right.
They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Sister Toya or Sister
Ancestor
Peach,"
toy.
and yeah.
I know that's right.
So that's why I love Queens, because it's just a wealth of information from different women from different backgrounds,
Yes.
orientations.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get anything from me or Toya, you should tune in. You could get something from Lee,
Mm-hmm.
Ariel, Kanisha, Michelle, possibly Tamia. She wasn't on last week's episode, but it's always something to learn. So it
Mm-hmm.
was one more question, and Ariel pretty much summed it up in her clip. That's why I just loved it so much. But
Mm-hmm.
just for us, what gets in the way of your success? Anything got in the way of your success? How did you conquer it? Just to give advice for anybody that may be watching.
Honestly, I think we get in our own ways. So a lot of times, and I could speak for myself as well. I feel like I get in my own way when it comes to my success, especially if you're not being consistent. That could get in the way of your success as well, not being consistent in what you're trying to do. You have to stay up on your plan, your project, whatever you're trying to do. You have to stay up on it, because if you don't love it, no one else is going to love it. Like you have to want to do it and have to have that urge and that drive to do what you want to do, and not let no one else stop you. I'm not going to say other things cannot get in your way, but you cannot just let that stop you. You have to keep going and find another avenue to go to and get what you need.
I totally agree with you. When you said something get in your way, I thought about Grand Theft Auto, that video game everybody be playing when a car or something get in the street, you find a
Yes.
way to swerve through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
sometimes wonder why women in particular, when that barrier get there, some of us just stop and stand still. And I
Mhm.
never was that type. I'm going to
Yeah. Mhm.
bulldoze right through it. I'm going to
Right.
either walk on top of it. If it's a way
Mhm.
around, I'm going to go. But if I can't, I'm walking right on top of it, facing
Mhm.
it head first, and I'm pushing forward. And I'm going to
You
figure out a way.
you know what else gets in people's way? When they listen to other people. You listen to your family members. That's why you cannot always bring your ideas to people, because once they say something negative about it, a lot of people they're gonna just leave it. They're gonna just not even deal with it anymore because of one person or people told you it wasn't a good idea for you to do. If you feel like it's something you, even if someone comes and tell you it's not a good idea, you still try it for yourself and see how it works for you. Don't let people get in your ear because that is a big no no. It would deter you from what you want to do for sure. That has happened to me, but I don't listen to that. At the moment I did listen to it. I'm like, damn, maybe they right. You start to second guess yourself. No, do what you want to do and keep going.
I agree. And I'm a spiritual person, and I'm a firm
Mhm.
believer that everybody has their own calling. And
Yes.
what gifts you have, I don't have them.
Mhm.
God or the creator gives everybody
Mhm.
whatever it
Special gift.
gives. Yeah, and
Mhm.
that's what you do. And like
Mhm.
Ariel said, sometimes the people that you are around aren't equipped for what you are trying to do in your life at the moment. So
Right.
you have to go find that space. It's not necessarily that those people are bad. It's
Mhm.
just that they don't see the vision because that's not what they are equipped for, why they are personally here. So yeah, I agree. Don't let anything stand in your way. And again, going back to Ariel, whatever that issue is, you need to think about it. You need to assess it. And then once you assess what that problem is, you conquer it and you move on and you get to your goal, even if it starts out small,
Right.
something so small.
Right.
Again, like we were discussing, I never dreamt us going out to bars and clubs, networking with people was going to turn
Mhm.
into me learning how to learn how to live stream. We went from
Right.
going someplace to live stream to me learning how to live stream and
Mhm.
use all the programming, and then eventually buying all the pieces, and then say, okay, we got a voice, we got something here. Now let's impact the community.
Mhm.
Let's build a nonprofit.
Mhm.
Done built these relationships, and like she said, find the people that you need, because
Mhm.
back then I didn't know y'all. Everybody in my
Right.
life now is new people because I had
Mhm.
to phase out the people that was in my life. They weren't
Mhm.
they weren't equipped to be in my new phase, and it's okay.
And it is so true when they say you have to be around people that you want to be like. You have to. You have to put yourself in those circles because those are the minds that you want to be like, and you want to hear their thoughts, and they the ones that boost you up and give you that mindset to keep going as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they're doing it. Why I can't do it? And that happens a lot of time. You see someone doing it, you don't need to be jealous of nobody. If you want to do something, you go do that and figure out what it's gonna take to be the best that you could be.
All right, so this is the last question for the night, and then I'm going to end it with the ladies. Lee
You said
talked
the
about
last question
my
was the last question.
Yeah, well,
Go
this
ahead.
question is the last one because I think this is informative, right? Lee said, it's not really a question. What is your mantra for change?
Ooh, let me hear yours. Go ahead.
Well, I said it on a live stream
What you
during
say?
the whole thing with the commission. I said, let me clean it up a little bit because you know
Mhm.
how I could get a little potty mouth. Let me clean
It's
it up.
okay. Mhm.
When people don't invite you to their table, to me, I don't
Mhm.
want to be at your table.
Mm-mm.
You don't
Mm-mm.
got to let me through your door. I'll build my own house and I invite whoever I want into it. And that is my mantra and has always been.
Mm. I love that because I'm the same way. I'm not begging to be at nobody's table. I'm just not. And you beg to be at these people's table. If they wanted you at their table, they would have invited you to their table. But now you sitting here begging to be at their table, they ain't gonna treat you right. But like you said, you gotta make your own, open your own doors and start your own thing. I always have done that. I feel like your people don't have to be my people, but I know I have some people that's gonna be here.
Right. Right.
Like, cause like
Yep.
we started in we started in Pierce's when we first started the organization in Pierce's house. It wasn't that
Yep.
many of us, but we grew and we then grew these, how can I say, we done grew a family basically.
Yep. With unbelievable connections, you
A lot
know.
of connections, yes. People who are willing to support and who have the same mindset as us and want to help out the community. You know, they see it's a problem out there and they want to make a change. They want to do something.
Mhm. And you know what? I'm thinking back to something that you said to me maybe a year ago. We were in the board meeting. I guess I could share this because it's not really boards any sensitive information. Somebody said, "How do we reach the politicians?" I said, "They're gonna come to us."
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? And then one
Yes.
of the said politicians came and
Mm-hmm.
you said they was gonna
You
come
just said
to
that.
us.
Yeah, they
So
did.
yes, build
Mm-hmm.
a house. Screw
Yes.
people tables. Screw coming through their doors. They don't want to let you in. You build your own damn house.
That's right.
And that is my mantra. And I guess that's
Yes.
Toya mantra too.
I agree.
So with that being said, I hope everyone is, has been inspired by this recap and you decide to share this broadcast with the queens in your life. I am going to go ahead on and Toya, if you want to leave off or if you want to listen, that's fine. I am going to play the mantras
Ooh.
of the queens from last week's show, and they had some really great ones. So after that, the show ends, and then y'all just tune in next Monday at 8 p.m. for Queens because
Queens next Monday.
these ladies always come with the business and always has something to say.
Mm.
And your host for next week will be Tamia. I don't know what
Oh,
the topic is, but I'm waiting now. But
okay.
here go their mantras.
Mhm.
Is your mantra for change is blank.
Oh, my mantra for change. We're gonna stick with
Yeah.
the flow today. My mantra for change is love. There's no other way around it. Like I know I keep saying the same things, but just in different ways because they're different questions, but they all make sense for each question. There's no way in the world that I can have a mantra for change without saying love because that's that frequency. And if we could all ride that frequency, because some of us happen to fall off, some of us go different ways, some of us are up here, some of us are up here on the top, and some of us are on the bottom, but we're
Mhm.
only like that because that's the thought process that society has given us for a frequency to
Mhm.
be one on the top and one on the bottom. But if we all just ride it together side by side, it is what it is. Some of our frequencies of love may be just a little happier than others. We may be a little bit more on top only because we exude love more so because other people haven't gotten that far. But once we're all on that same frequency and ride it, I just wish we could just play a beautiful sound. Like I know it would just sound so beautiful to hear society laughing and giggling and going outside without being judged and just happy to walk where you want to walk without having someone look at you as if you're different than them or judging you on what you're wearing or what you're driving or where you stay or just that frequency of love to just ride it and just to be able to listen to the harmony of it. Love for sure. I'm gonna stick with my mantra. It's just gonna be love today.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Well,
Miss Michelle.
my mantra is I am my change. If I see something that isn't, if I want to have an inclusive community, I change to make sure that I have an inclusive community, then that happens. If I don't see something happen and I want it to be that way, I know that sometimes I have to speak up and do that. I was on a panel and they were talking about, well, there aren't that many women there. I said, when you actively don't invite women to be on there, then no, you're not going to have women attend. I mean, and and they were like, oh, if you want to have an inclusive audience, are you reaching out to it? And when I go to
Mm-hmm.
things, there are certain things that I ask for, that I look for, to have a welcoming, open, loving community. And if I don't see that, I'm going to stand in my truth and work at making it being that. So my mantra is, I am my change.
No, that's right.
I love that.
I
Ariel?
guess my mindset would be, um, you know, how do we climb is step by step, right? I believe very firmly that, like, trying to do big things, especially as something as big as change, even if that change seems small for yourself, like, can feel incredibly overwhelming. And you've probably heard me say it. I know anybody who's been in We360 has heard me say it. Like, how do we climb the mountain is step by step. And so to not look beyond, like, to not try and look too high and to feel the weight of the thing we're trying to accomplish, but to literally, how, like, to just take it step by step, to just look at what's right in front of you and get there, and then look ahead to the next thing after that. And I think that is the most important thing about how do we affect change, is to not be overwhelmed by what we're trying to accomplish, to not feel like any amount of change is beyond our ability to accomplish. Um, because I don't believe in that. I don't think that there's anything that you're trying to do, especially for yourself or for your community, that you can't, like, that you're not able to do. So, just, that's anybody. I believe that completely about any woman I've ever met, that you can accomplish your goals. Um, so how we get there is different, but absolutely it's achievable. So let's just take it one step at a time, and we'll get to where we're trying to eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. My mantra for change is, if they don't give you a seat at the table, build your own table and then invite all women to sit and eat at it.
Thank you for joining us tonight. That is the Queen's Recap. I am your host, Pierce. Peach, Toya was in the building from IME Inc. And we are hoping that you join and tune in to Queens next Monday at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, if you are on the IME channels, we stream in black, LGBTQ plus in black. So hope you join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Y'all have an awesome night. I hope you learned. I hope you grow, and I hope you share queens with your queens in your life. Y'all have a
Yes.
wonderful night. Good
Good night,
night.
guys. Good night.